I'm down for whatever, but I never fall. Whenever I need my soldiers, they there when I call. I'm never scared when it's time to lay my life down. I need some warriors to stand with me right now. Forget about the hate, I gotta stick to the plan. I pray to God every day to be a better man. With all this pressure, I'ma need to hold my own. I don't wanna do nothing to...
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm Arthur J, and it's my co-host Tori, and we back with another episode. We want to thank y'all for coming to the Arthur J and Tori TV podcast. Man, we back with another great one, man.
Yes,
How you
sir,
doing,
yes,
my brother?
Sir. Man, I'm doing good. Won't complain, can't complain.
Yes, sir, man. Never that, man. We're going to get right into it like we always do, man, in this episode. In this generation, parents, have we gotten soft? Ooh. Man, this is definitely something that need to be talked about, especially if you have kids. If you raising kids, whether you a single parent or whether you are married or whether you boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever the case may be. So I want to get right into it, man. How do you feel about in today's society raising kids when it come down to discipline?
Well,
it's a good one here.
Oh man, and as I say in many episodes before, back in my day, I ain't that old, but back in my days, man, it felt a little different. You know what I'm saying? What some people now, this generation probably would say, oh man, that's abuse. My generation, that was normal. You know what I'm saying? So these days, it's like, people, the parents most of the time be scared to go to jail because the kids have a no, you don't supposed to hit me or spank me, what we call getting your A whoop back in my day. But we turned out okay. But today's society is different. The climate's changed. The rules have changed. So I just really think it's a little soft these days, so.
Yeah, I feel you, man. And see, a lot of people see this and they always be like, when you talk about discipline, they always refer to thinking that it's only about beating your kids half to death.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that when you don't have that control of your household, when you don't have that respect fear of your parents, that's a problem to me. Because I know growing up, it wasn't just about my dad getting the belt. That was the icing on the cake. But it wasn't just about my mom and them getting the belt. It's about that respect that we had that we just, wouldn't try.
Yeah.
And if we tried, we knew the consequences. Nowadays, kids have the attitudes of like, okay, they just going to take this for a little bit, maybe a day or two.
Yeah.
And I'm back at it. It's back in my possession, as if you got to give your kids that. Or they got to have this treatment, or you better give it back to your kids, or people going to say you're a bad parent, or they just going to lead astray. They're going to, look, my mom used to always say, not without a fight.
Yeah.
That was always her saying, not without a fight. And that fight could be anything. It could be just showing you that I'm the parent and you the child.
Exactly.
Showing you that if your life got to be a living hell, my life ain't going to be a living hell, because I'm going to have my phone.
Yeah.
I'm going to have my car to be able to go to work and go where I need to go. I'm going to be able to talk on the phone to my friends if I want to. I'm going to be able to watch TV when I want to. So a lot of times, how do you feel about people saying, I can't make them do things. I can't make them do that. Let them be free thinking. Let them, I want them to feel free to be what they want to be or do what they want to do. And they in your household.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about, many people that say that nowadays?
Well, I definitely would want them to be free thinkers, or just thinkers before actions. But at the end of the day, they're saying I can't make them do anything, and they minors and they're still living in your home. Oh, yes, you can. I brought you in this world, and I'll take you out, and I don't care what it costs. You're not finna disrespect me, and if you feel like you got to do that, it's time for you to go. You know what I'm saying? And that's something you have to live on. Don't make your life harder than it has to be. But I would definitely, I ain't never heard that in my household. Like, you can't make them do what, yes.
That's what they say nowadays, man.
Kids gonna do things, or young adults gonna do things, but they're gonna sneak and try to do those things. But at the end of the day, they're gonna respect me first and have the audacity or have the I guess, conviction to know if I do this in front of my parents, it's definitely a consequence. But it's one thing to have respect and then trying to sneak and do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I know it's two different things. It's like your manager sometimes don't mind you doing something if you're on your phone, you don't supposed to be, but it's the blatantly disrespect, like I'm gonna be on my phone, you see him and you still don't try to put it away. The same way with a kid. Oh, you just gonna do what you want to do, huh? No, you're gonna sneak and do something because you can't control what your kids do when they're not around you. But to actually do it in front of me, hey, that's a no-go. Never.
It's so funny because a lot of people will say, Tori, but you gonna push them away, you gonna drive them away. What do you say about people who say you gonna push them away if you don't let them, if you don't give them more freedom than what you give them? Because you being a parent, you're not trying to just let them walk out in the street when you know cars is coming, and knowing they finna get hit, knowing they finna get their head splattered all over the road. And I'm metaphorically speaking.
Yeah.
But you don't want to say nothing because you don't want to push them away. How do you feel about that?
At the end of the day, I still have and instill in my kids, my stepkids and all that, to be able to come to me with anything. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, it's not going to stop me the way I parent, worried about if they come to me with some stuff or what they keep away from me, because I'm going to parent to the best of my ability with trying to lead them down the right path. Now, how that may come out is another thing, but at the end of the day, that I always have that open door. I'm always going to be understanding, or not always understanding, but I'm just going to voice my opinion from a parent's perspective. If you're wrong or if I don't agree with something, I'm going to let you know, but I'm not going to just cast judgment on you because something that you needed to come to talk to me. I'm not just going to cast judgment on you about it, but I am going to parent. And I'm never going to stop being a parent. I don't even care how old you get. I'm never going to stop parenting. So
that's real, man. I hear my parents say that all the time, and I've heard older people say that a lot. They say, man, there's no age where you stop being a parent. Even though you make your own decisions, you out on your own, you out of my house, you get to make your own rules and everything like that. I'm still going to tell you if you right or if you wrong. And I can respect that, and that's all that I think we need to instill in our kids today, is that you may not go along with my rules when you out on your own, but you can respect. And it's that big word, respect, because if kids don't respect their parents, they sure enough ain't gonna respect anybody else in the world who will put a bullet in them, or who will knock them upside their head, or who don't have love for them at all.
Or the ability to hurt them, not just physically, but hurt them any kind of way, financially, or anything that they gain be taken away from them. Right.
It's about respect and discipline, because when you teach your kids discipline, I was once in karate before, and my instructor taught me that if you come in here and thinking that it's all about kicks and punches, you in the wrong place. I want to teach you discipline. So a lot of times, as an instructor, you should teach your kids, I think, in my opinion, that when you go in life and I'm no longer here, because we all gonna die, no matter how you want to shape it or cut it or wrap it, we all gonna die. And for me to no longer be here, you need to know what to do in life. You need to know how to conduct yourself. You need to know how to have discipline. You need to know how to follow the rules. You need to know how to have respect. Not only because we'll teach our kids, don't let nobody disrespect you, but we won't put emphasis on respecting other people too.
Oh yeah.
And that's so important, just as much as you not wanting nobody to hurt your ooly wooly. You want to make sure your ooly wooly ain't bullying people. You want to make sure they not disrespecting people, especially when it come down to adults. I was always taught that, respect to adults. Any issues you have, you come to me, or you come to your dad or your mother, and let them handle them. A lot of years, let me tell you this side note. Years later, my mom told me, oh yeah, I had a word with sister so and so, or I had a word with Mrs. so and so, and I'm being a grown man, like, really? I thought you was on their side all alone. They was like, no, she was like, that wasn't for you to know that. Yeah, you needed to stay in the child's place. Yep, that was for me to handle that. Yeah, I don't let that breathe. Yeah. Please let that breathe, because a lot of y'all will let your kids see y'all cuss sister so-and-so out, or Mrs. So and so or Mr. So and so, right? Instead of just handling it adult to adult, whether you gotta fight it out or whether you gotta yell it out, whatever the case may be. Your kids need to remain to be kids, which is a whole nother conversation. But I want to get into, have we as parents switched roles nowadays? Have we become more of the friend than the parent nowadays?
A lot, and it's sad to say, a lot of people have gone that route. I see it daily on social media on my timeline that you have kids just blatantly telling their parents what they not gonna do. I don't want to talk right now. Don't you just go away or stuff of that nature. I ain't never seen that coming up as a child. Because the day I would tell my mom or my mother that I don't want to talk right now, go away, that'll be the day she be coming in and I might be going out. So let that sit there for a minute and understand that. But I do think the roles have basically reversed because a lot of parents want to be their kids' friend first. You know what I'm saying? They want to be their friends instead of their parents, which is good to have a friendship relationship with your child. But at the end of the day, your first priority is being the parent and having that understanding. I'm the parent. I came from an era speak when spoken to. I came from an era where if Mom Dukes was on the phone and I interrupt her, definitely without saying excuse me, that's consequences. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel that the roles have definitely kind of been switched up because more kids, more parents are trying to be their kids' friends first, you know.
Man, that was just the question I was just about to ask you. That was what you just said, being, parents are being the kids' friends more than the parents. And I think that's, the way I view my parents is always as parents, and to keep it real with you, I've always viewed them. Well, I won't say I've always, because we've all been young and we've always wanted to do what we want to do, and we've been through what kids go through today as, you just thinking you grown and all that type of stuff, But as I got older, I realized that a lot of their ways of being a parent was better for me than my so-called friends. I tell you why. Because parents would take and they would endure and they would stick by further than a lot of your so-called friends. I notice I said so-called friends out there. It's nothing like a mother. I'll start with a mother first. It's nothing like a mother love versus your friend love. Not to say that you don't have friends that will have love for you and that will love you, but let's be real. Your mother's love is just unconditional.
Exactly.
It's one of those things that you can get another friend somewhere down the line. You don't get, once your mother gone or your father gone, you don't get no other love like the ones who have been there for you, like your parents and stuff. So when I realized that is when I stopped trying to do everything to please my friends. And that's what happened a lot of times is kids want, I believe that kids want parents to be their friends. They want them to be how they want to respond to their parents the way they respond to their friends. Okay. They want to act around their parents the way they act around their friends. And as they would get older, they would realize that a lot of the friends that you still have now in elementary, middle school, because I've experienced it. I've had friends when I was in middle school. We was real cool, man. Real cool. We got to high school, they act like they ain't know me no more. It wasn't no hard feelings, but it just, you grow. But with your parents, no matter how much you grow, you still their baby.
Yeah.
Right now, my mom, she loved me the same way and look at me the same way, even though I'm a man, as when I was a newborn baby, and I can feel that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important for kids to really realize how special and how valuable parents are in your life, and really take notes on, okay, I may not want to do that, but let me take that with me in life. I may not want to go about it this way, because my mom always said this too. She said, Arthur, you're going to realize parents are not perfect.
Oh, yeah.
They're not perfect at all, because a lot of times we are just kids that have grown up to be adults. So it's still some childlike ways in us somewhere that we tuck and hide think about when you be around adults and they get childish or they do things that's
Oh.
childlike. And when you get old, you go back to your child ways when you real, an elderly person. So it started making sense to me, man. I want to tie you into this, man. Do you think kids have more freedom nowadays than back in the days? Yes. If yes, why?
I definitely do. I think yes, they definitely do because from the example I'm gonna give you, from again coming up how I came up, I can only go to the next block or supposedly go to the next block or it will be in consequences. My friends, if you could call yourself, my friends knew my parents. They could have a face to a name. Always knew the face to the name. And in our community back in our days, it was more community raising your kids. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have the freedom to say I'm just gonna act up 3 houses down to Mrs. Johnson's house because I know if I'm acting up down there, she's liable to come out this house with a belt, beat my butt, then take me back to my house, and then tell my mom, and then I have to go through that whole thing all over again. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays, these kids have more freedom, and it ain't just about being out with the freedom. It's having the freedom come directly to them on their phones.
Let's talk about it.
Computers. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a lot of things they can get into. Because as a parent, we would like to think we can control everything, every aspect, what our kid watch, what our kid is doing on their phone. But reality is we can't. And a lot of times those kids are venturing out into things that we might not know of. So the freedom and access is more of a I would say it's more varieties for them to get into stuff, even just being in a room than it was with us.
Yeah, and it just make me, even piggyback on that even more and ask you this: why do you think parents in today's society, why do you feel like why do you think they give their kids nowadays more freedom than our parents coming up? Why is that so much it seemed to be like a must, like I have to give them all this or I have to give them this much freedom? Because I'm pretty sure you've seen it where some kids where you be like, they able to do that or they able to do that or they able to do that. Not everything that you see kids are able to do, but a lot of things that you feel like they probably not ready to handle that yet. They not of age to be able to handle that. I'm sure I've seen that. I know you've seen that. Why do you think parents feel like they have to get them in the mix of things or give them that freedom that soon?
Because it to me it goes back into trying to be their kid's friend instead of parenting.
Let that breathe.
And that's just backwards. It's in reverse. Later on in life, because the respect as a parent when I'm parenting goes, and once your kid gets older, it seems to draw y'all closer and with a friendship because now y'all are able to do some of the things maturely with your kids, with your son, with your daughters, because you had it structured in the right order. But at the end of the day, that question goes right back to trying to be your child's friend instead of being a parent. So you feel the need to, I want them to be able to trust me and come to me with anything. So I'm gonna try to get them freedom, which does come with trust, but trust is earned. Now I will open up and give more freedom because I trust you. I see how mature that you acting, because every parent see their kid and say this kid is more on the right level in age and mature wise for that as the way they think, the consequences and choices that they make. So that's what I mean by saying in a maturity, or if they acting childlike and they at an age where they should be more in a better progressive than the way they're acting, so
yeah.
It all depends on knowing your child, but at the end of the day, it all starts with parenting first.
Right. All right, man. I agree with you, man. It always, when I was coming up, I was a child. I spoke as a child, understood as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. And I think a lot of the youth have to realize that, and hopefully they do, man, because I know even hearing this, any young person that hear this, they're going to be like, whatever, because I was a young person that you're going to always see things as a child, but it's the parent's job whether they want to listen or not. You know, my mom had another saying that she got from the Bible: "As for me and my house." That's her favorite thing. She like to say, "As for me and my house." When you get your house and you get grown, but as for me and my house, like my mom said, you know, if I come in and you got 5 women in your house, that's your house. You know, I may have my own opinion, but that's your house. I can't control what go on in your house, but in my house, I can control what go on in my house. And that's real. No matter how people try to look at it and just say, yeah, but you know, you gotta be, yeah, but no, that's what logically makes sense. You know, when you have kids, I have a daughter. When they grown, I can always have my opinion.
Yeah.
But when they out on their own, it's not the same way that I'm gonna approach it the way I will approach it when they in my house. Because I'm not fit to pay bills and provide for you and do all these things that I'm doing and killing myself at work just for you to feel like you can do what you want to do. And you know, we've been hearing that since the beginning of time. But as you get older, as they will get older, they will see that's real talk. Yeah. So you don't want to stray. You don't want to stray away from that.
Yeah,
man.
Just like you said, you get older. Now you're outside my house. I don't stop parenting, but the way I approach it, I'm gonna give you my opinion in a helpful way. But it's now you have the right or to say whether you listen or you don't. That's on you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm never gonna stop parenting. But now you paying the bills in your in your house. So,
man, hey, I want to get right into this, man. I've seen parents who spend a lot of money. They give their kids everything, and this is one of my favorite things to talk about dealing with this topic, because I think a lot of times materialistic we do so much of, but when it come down to the value of teaching, really training up your child in the way he should go, so when he is old he will not depart from it. When it come down to really breaking down the value of life, the structure of life, the discipline, the right way to move, and just right from wrong. I think as parents, a lot of parents lack that. A lot of parents lack teaching their kids the way they should go, because their kids, their self, and what I mean kids, I'm not even talking about age, because yeah, you have a lot of teen pregnancy and et cetera, but childlike mind parents, you're not gonna have the maturity to really teach your kids and train them the way they should go, because you got a childlike mind, so you're gonna think just like them. Okay, let me just make sure people can see they got on some fresh J's, or let me make sure they see that they got the fresh outfit on, that they looking good. So when they get older and they become addicted to the Instagram model look, or be on social media as guys flashing their money, they going off of what they was trained. They going off of what they know, instead of really going off of the value of, okay, it's cool to be blessed. It's cool to be excited and motivated by things you work hard for. But that's working hard for one thing, and number two, knowing the value of life behind that working hard. Because if you just focus on the material things, if you focus on the flashy thing, but you don't have no value, how are you gonna be able to keep that? How are you gonna be able to obtain that? You know what I mean? So I think it's important for parents to realize that yes, you're able to provide for them, you're able to give them things, but just spoiling them and that's it is not gonna cut it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
And that's definitely something I sit on. I had this conversation with, me and my wife talk about everything. So I had this conversation with my wife before, and it's all about, I don't see nothing wrong with spoiling your child, giving them all the things that you probably didn't have coming up. I have no problem with somebody doing for their child. If they're blessed to do so, please do it, as you said. But teaching them, I just bought you these $500 shoes or whatever it may be, but guess what? Behind that, I had to work hard to be able to afford those things, so they'll know the value of $1, or you know what I'm saying, and not just thinking that they don't have to work hard for something, and something is just going to be handed to them all the time. So long as you keep intact with your teachings or financial literacy and those things, it's okay to spoil your child, long as they have structure on what it takes to earn and keep. That's the big thing.
That's what I was
now
saying.
If you earn and spend but don't know how to keep, then it's you're having a disservice to that child and yourself. So you need to show them how to be able to save. If you spending without a savings, then that's backwards. You need to have a savings. So that's just really how I feel about it. Just the principle of teaching them how to earn and the structure of earning. I don't have no problem with somebody giving their kids elaborate gifts. That's on them if they can afford it. But teaching them where it came from, I worked hard for it. You should do the same as you grow older. Setting the principle, if I have a company, and it's a well company that is doing very, very well financially, it took hard work for me to do that. Now, I would love to lead this company to my child, but I will not leave a company to my child without teaching them what it takes to run this company. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's a disservice to my company and to my child, because that's just going to collapse without the foundation being the training and the work ethic and all those things, you know.
Right, man. You know, and it made me go into this next conversation real quick. How do you feel about, you know, a parent that, you know, let's say they are against something, and they see their child do that same thing that they're against, that they've been against all their life, and their child is wrong, and they felt like what they're against, what they felt like is wrong, and they see their child do the same thing that they always had that feeling of that it was wrong. How do you feel about a parent now, their feelings towards it being wrong or right, it changed to, well, maybe it's not wrong just because they kids doing it?
See, that's the key. If you stand on something, stand on it. If it's wrong for Timmy, who's a friend of somebody you know, then it's wrong for your child. You know what I'm saying? So stand on that. Don't deviate to, because now it's my kids and so it's okay. Then there you go again, teaching your kids that it's wrong or it's right to break the rules. But when it comes to you, it's not good to break the rules. But when it comes to you, it's okay. You have to stand on some things and be solid on what you're standing on. You know what I'm saying? We do understand that some views will change depending on situations. We get that because now you're living in it. But at the same time, right and wrong, it's either right or it's wrong. You believe in right or you believe in wrong. It does not change just because it pertains to your child.
Right, man. You know, can a woman raise a boy to be a man as a single mother? We gon' real quick. I want you to tie into this real quick.
Can that happen? In a sense, yes. Just saying, can a woman raise a child to be raise a man to be a good man? Yes. Or a good human being into this society? Yes. But can a woman raise a man completely? I think no. For as showing him something that's only a man can show him, because I was raised by a single parent that did a great job, you know, for as keeping me out the system. You know, as y'all see, I'm still here. Keeping me out the grave, as y'all can see, I'm still here. But some of the things that a man leads and how he handled his family, I was lacking as I got older and started learning these things through other people that was introduced into my life, as my stepdad was introduced into my life, as my brother got more older, my oldest brother, and as my father-in-law started showing me different things of what it was that I was lacking. But I thought everything was going good. But at the end of the day, I think you need a man to help raise that man's side of your child.
Man, yeah, man, we can get into this all day long, especially that last part, man. But, you know, we're going to end it on that note. And, you know, subscribe, like, share, comment, you know, we want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Arthur J and Tori TV podcast, man. And we just hope that y'all got something out of this. And, you know, we would like to hear from y'all in the comments about going live, and maybe we can talk more on this. But until next time, peace.
I hate the feeling that I get when I wanna quit. Keep my composure when a hater say something slick. Talking 100 when you don't keep it 50. I see the fake every time you hanging with me. You say you straight, but your actions showing different. That's right. Why should I?